Welcome to Table Talk, and thank you for joining us today. My guest today is Justin Scott from McMinnville Parks and Rec Department. Welcome back to the show, Justin.
Thank you.
You've been here before, but it's been quite some time ago. You all have a lot going on. I can tell from all your notes here. You're a busy guy.
Yes, ma'am. We are. This is our busiest time of the summer, or time of the year, being the summer. It usually starts early spring, around April, and then we run through October to November, and then we start to get a little lull where it starts to kind of die out a little bit. But it's like we always joke, is there a slower time of the year? And currently there isn't for us. It's good,
well,
though.
That's good.
Yeah.
There is just no doubt that the Parks and Rec Department has added to the appeal of living in Warren County. It's a big draw for people coming here. People in the county love it. We draw, seems like people even from other counties coming here, taking advantage of the Ghillie Pool and of course the Milner Center. It's doing wonderfully. Beautiful place.
It is. We're seeing our numbers increase a lot. The pool is always a draw. I mean, we'll be going on our 20th year in 2023 for the pool. But the Milner Center, since we opened last June, we've been open almost a full year. Our numbers have been great as far as our paid admissions and passes and our classes. And you know, it was great to have kids back in there shooting basketball.
Yes.
And we've got our new racquetball courts. We've got our tennis court. It's been fantastic. You know, the wellness center always was a good draw, but it's just good.
And it seems like it's a lot more accessible now for handicapped people that have trouble navigating stairs and things like that. You all have a lot greater accessibility to areas now. Is that right?
That is correct. You know, our old facility was 1973. We just didn't have the amenities that we have now. Now we have an elevator. Just to talk about our restrooms, they're handicap accessible, wider stalls, but everything was thought out and well planned, and you know, it's been really nice to be able to accommodate those folks. We're looking forward to the craft fair this year because you know, before we had people that couldn't get to the second level.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about.
So,
lots of things that were up there that people couldn't get to.
That's right. So now we're going to be able to do that. We've utilized the elevator a lot. I even made a joke the other day that I'm always want to take stairs, but as much as I have to run downstairs and run back upstairs, I've gotten to where I'm just going to jump on the elevator and ride it up.
So. And of course, the people that set up the booths and things like that, they're going to appreciate that elevator instead of having to bring everything up the steps. So that'll be a big draw, I'm sure.
It will be a big draw. And we just had, you know, we had a Spartan Deca race.
Yes. And
we had a lot of equipment we had to get upstairs, and so we utilized that elevator. Otherwise, we were going to be hand carrying it up the steps. So it was nice.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, because that's what kind of sparked my interest. You all sent an email out about something called Speak Up at the Parks and Rec Open House, which is on June 16th. So tell us, I guess, the purpose of the open house.
Sure. So back in November of 2021, we had a key stakeholder meeting, and there were several folks that were in our community that we felt that we wanted to bring into that meeting. And what we did was we sat down and we looked at our existing facilities and our existing parks, and we looked at our overall Parks and Rec plan, our Parks and Rec system. And what this is about, this master plan, is a plan that encompasses all of our parks. But we want the public to let us know, you know, how do they use our parks? How do they use our classes? What works about our parks? What changes would they want to see in our parks? Those were the kind of things that that we're interested in, because we have visions and we know the things that we want to see, but this is McMinnville, Warren County, and we want to see what the public and, you know, the surrounding in Warren County, what do they want to see?
Right.
You know?
Well, I know when I got on there and I took the survey, I tend to forget about some of the smaller parks out in the communities. And so it's much more than just what we see at the Milner Center and the walking facility there in the Ghillie Pool. Many more parks than that.
There is. You know, we have the Milner Center is a draw. I mean, it is a big draw. We've got the pool. We've got the 3/4 mile track. We've got 7 ball fields. We've got a skate park. We've got tennis courts. But we have Riverfront Park and Ramsey Park and Pepper Branch Park and Pistol Park and Rocket Park, and, you know, our greenway system. And there's just so many different things that my staff, that we deal with weekly and daily, that they're out, you know, cleaning those parks. And we're seeing a lot of more usage at certain parks like Ramsey, because we didn't have restrooms there, and we built restrooms there. And now we're seeing a draw to that pavilion.
It's a beautiful area. I was there for the marker dedication ceremony last week, and what a great place just to have some green space.
Yes, it is. And so, you know, it has a nice little playground, and it has plenty of parking, but it's not too far out of town. You could walk from downtown to walk right there and eat your lunch and then walk back. So there's a lot of opportunities, but the master plan will encompass, it's just Parks and Rec, and it will encompass everything that we have, and maybe future parks. You know, what could we see on the north side of town? Or you know, I've been made aware of other areas that the city owns the property. How could we utilize that property? Could we put benches there, put another dog park there, put, you know, disc golf baskets where people could just play disc golf, or whatever. So we want to get those ideas. We want to hear from the community, because ultimately this is what we want to build for our community.
Right.
And we want people to utilize it and be proud of it.
Right, right. Yeah, because really, if you think about it, you guys are managing it, but it is for the community. If we're not using it as a community, it's not really serving its purpose.
That's right.
So what does the 5-year master plan currently look like?
Yeah, so right now we're still kind of in the early stages. Again, what we did in that first meeting in November was we just took inventory of our existing facilities, and we looked at everything. We looked at the schools that are even in this area. You know, we're right next door to West Elementary. So we partner with West a lot. And Bobby Ray is across the street in Chancery. So we've done some partnerships with them. We've got the middle school just up the hill. You know, the high school's a little far out, but then our county schools are as well. So Reagan Smith is a group that we hired to help us plan, you know, and understand the project, but plan this master park plan. But we started inventory. We just looked at everything as far as an assessment of our existing facilities and things like that. And then what we've done is we've gotten our first focus group, where we had our first public meeting. I believe it was back in March, but we didn't have a good turnout. We were hoping to have more, but we had some people that came in, and what they had some displayed, some boards displayed where they came up and they looked at what we had, and people were able to put stickers
on how they liked that idea
and what they utilized. And so then we took that data and we've put it back together, and now we're going to have this June 16th meeting where we're hoping to have a recommendation. It's called the recommendation phase. So what that's going to be is Reagan Smith is going to say, okay, we've done the survey. You guys have said these are the things that you'd like to see us do better. You use this park or you don't use this park or whatever. And then we go into an implementation phase, which would be by September of this year. And what that would just be a final comprehensive report of this plan. So we're still in the early stages of this.
Right, okay, so the 5-year plan is still very shapeable.
It is.
And I guess that's what you're looking for feedback from the open house, and then I guess that makes the feedback that you get super important.
Very important. I mean, just for an example, you know, you talked about the survey. Some of the questions that were asked was, how important are parks and recreations to your quality of life? You know, is it affordable? How many times do you visit this park? Do you feel safe at this facility? So those are just some examples that we're looking for, because we hear a lot of the public's comments. You know, I've got maintenance guys that'll be down on the greenway and someone will walk up to them and say, hey, were you aware that this is across the trail over here? Or
Right.
were you aware of this? Or I saw that, or whatever. And they bring that back. We address it because, you know, especially if it's a safety issue.
Could be a down tree or anything like that, because you've got lots of green space
That's
there.
right. That's right. So, and then just what's your general overall impression of McMinnville Parks and Recreation, of our facility and of our overall park? So those are some of the things that we want folks' feedback. And, you know, we're trying to do other things on our own, as far as we've started collecting data on usage of our jungle gym. We could even start collecting data on usage of our greenway. We know certain people use certain things daily. I see the same people walking the square block right there. I see them walking it every day.
Yes.
So people have patterns and they like to do their thing, and so we want to know. We want to hear what they like.
Well, I have to say, I've not been over to the Milner Center very much, but I did drop off this morning a student that was going to camp there, and I was amazed at how many people were coming in to participate in classes or utilize the workout area. They're still loving the walking trails there and stuff. I mean, and it's exciting to see that being utilized as much as it is. And the greenway down by the river, it's always utilized.
It is. You know, we opened our facility at the Milner at 6 a.m. and I was one that was like, I'm not going to have anybody show up here. But we'll have, on average, maybe 6 to 8 folks at 6 a.m. walking through the door, because they want to get their workout in, they want to shower, they want to go to work. So, and we're open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Right.
And we're open 7 days a week. But yeah, it is. It's amazing the usage that we're having, and just the variety of folks that we have, and not just Warren County people. We've got people coming from all other counties.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, the jungle gym. That's been a very popular topic lately. Please explain, I guess, you were talking about numbers and kind of utilizing how much the children of Warren County utilize that jungle gym, and just how important it is to us.
Sure. So, you know, this kind of started when we sat down and started looking at the inventory of our existing facilities. We were looking at things of how could we renovate this, or what could we do better. And the jungle gym was one of those areas that, you know, was built. I think it was built before my time, but then
I know they said 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
So, and it's fabulous. It's great. You know, what happened was, one of my head of maintenance, Mark Kale, we were sitting there one day talking, and we were up at the shop looking out at the jungle gym. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it's being utilized. I mean, you will see parents pull up, get their kids out of their car, walk them in. They'll play for 30 minutes, an hour, if not longer, and then they leave. And it's just always movement going. So one of the things that we've tried to do starting this year was, when we started talking about the jungle gym renovation, I wanted to have some data to kind of back that up. So we put a counter, and we're counting traffic, counting how many people are coming through. And on average, we're looking at anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people per week.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah. So and then Michael Benusius, my facility manager, and I, we kind of started spearheading, like, okay, let's start looking at ways that we could grant opportunities, or let's think of ways that we could get some ideas on how we could, if we were to move forward with a renovation, how we could get the community support, and that we could revamp it, we could update it, make it ADA accessible, more ADA accessible, I should say, and things like that. So inclusive. So we started talking to some different companies and started getting some ideas. They gave us some drawings, which was really cool. And then I took it to the committee, and we were able to kind of look at that and say, okay, this is how much this would cost. It obviously is a big project. It would have to be done in several phases because we have the front half and the back half, and
right. And it is a wooden, predominantly facility. Things are going to have to be fixed over the years.
It is. The guys have done a really good job as far as trying to seal the wood, replace wood where we've had wood broke. But just the wood chips alone that we have to bring in there annually has to be at least 12 inches deep. Underneath our swings, especially, feet hit and drag. It just wears out.
Right.
It's just a lot of work, and we're willing to do that work. But I also was like, is it time that we could revamp and we could put something new in there? Keep the same theme, but do something new, more modern, updated. And we've looked at different ideas. I mean, there's a lot of different things out there.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about something being around for 20 years, that gets into like even multiple generations coming and utilizing that. Yes. Another thing I guess I noticed that had come down the pipe lately was the exciting announcement about the Park Theater. And I know you're probably, or is the Park Theater, it falls under Parks and Rec, is that correct? So you've got Joe Harvey coming as your new, I guess, director or manager of the Park Theater. What kind of things is he bringing to the table that gets you all excited? Goodness
gracious. I don't even know where to start on that one. When I received his application for the theater manager, I was super excited. And during his interview, he had, I don't have any of them written down, but he had just a load of ideas. He's local. He loves this community. He obviously loves music and entertainment. But he talked about, he wanted to get the school choir into the theater. He wanted to, he was thinking about the schools.
And he came from the school system, so lots of good ideas stemming, I guess, from that.
Right, and then just the entertainment side of things. He's obviously, I think he said he's been playing music since he was 13 years old. So he's just he's going to be great. I mean, I'm excited to see what he really brings. He had a lot of great ideas, and I look forward to working with him. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Well, I know his family has utilized the theater for Hark in the Park for years, and so they've been on board with it a long time, and he does have all the connections, I guess, with the artists that we love to see. Love to see how the latest, I believe it was Ronnie Millsap that you had there, and the numbers were just great. It was a packed house.
Staggering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong with Ronnie. I mean, he's got years of hits and things like that. Great to see him still playing and singing and performing. Is there anything we haven't hit? I know we talked a little bit this morning before we went on air about the kids camp. That's something that's going on all summer long. I guess you're at your limit on how many kids you can take, but tell us about how that runs, I guess, as far as next year goes, about people signing their kids up.
Yeah, so we started Kids Camp today. It's going to run for a couple weeks. It's a great program. As I mentioned, it was a program that we did a couple years ago, and then Marilyn Wilson, my wellness and aquatics coordinator, she brought it back last year. She was going to run it with my at the time recreation programmer was Kyle Clyde, but they were going to run it together. But we have 35 kids this year. They got here we had some arriving this morning at 6:45. They start camp at 8. They'll be there all day. They're going to do crafts. They're going to do fitness. They're going to play games. They get to use the pool. They get lunch. We have that supplied by Coordinated School Health, so they feed them. And they'll get opportunities to do programs with our athletic coordinator, Terry Beard. I programmed with him a little bit last year and did some soccer and flag football. It's going to be great. We're hoping that we can increase the numbers over the next couple years. Used to have up to like 50, 55 kids in it per week.
Yeah. And I will say, you've got these young, energetic counselors that are great as they work with the kids. I see them, and they're really top-notch kids themselves. They're young adults or in their early 20s.
They are, and you know, we do a lot of training. Maryland did a lot of training with them as far as counselor training to make sure that they're AED and CPR certified, that first aid certified, but that they also are following a really strict criteria to make sure that the kids are safe, the kids are having fun, communicating with the parents.
Yes.
Those kind of things. So we're really excited about it. So yeah, that's something that we've got going on this summer. Our swim lessons started this summer. They were actually supposed to start Saturday, but they ended up really starting today. What that is we're you know, we used to have the American Red Cross Learn to Swim.
Yes.
I
think they taught me to swim.
Yes. So they kind of handed that over to us, and we are now doing it. There is a fee that's established with that, but people can call the front desk. They can find out what's available, and so we have swim instructors that teach in small groups, like 6. And they come at certain times of the day. We offer a variety of times, but they come and they're with an instructor for 45 minutes to an hour, you know, 2 times a week or up to 4 weeks or, you know, 6 weeks or whatever. So that's a really cool program that we've got going on at the Ghillie Pool.
Right, and it's going on, you used to, I guess, with the Red Cross, you had to have, it was at night and that kind of thing. But now it could be any time during the day, I guess, that you all offer.
Yeah, and we offer, like I said, we had some 8 a.m.s that started this morning. They'll go throughout the day. They're even being taught when the general public's there, when the pool's open, which opens at 10. And then there's some this evening. Between 6 and 8 p.m. So we're trying to meet the needs of the parents.
Yes.
And when they can get them there. But we have great instructors that teach, have been certified. So that's a really cool thing that we've got going on this summer.
So what is the fee associated with that? I know with the Red Cross, we were so blessed for years for that to be free.
Yeah.
But you guys, we've got to have, I guess, there's got to be some compensation. You've got all these people that you have to hire to teach the kids that.
Yeah, and forgive me, I can't remember the exact number of what that cost is, but if anybody is interested, they can call the front desk, and Dawn Hitchcock, front desk manager, can give them that price. But yes, you're right. We do have cost affiliated with it because we will go out and we make sure we buy all the materials that we need for the kids.
Yes.
And we're paying our instructors. So, but yes, if anybody's interested, they can call the front desk at 473-1212, and we can give them the information, and we can find out what's available. We have weeks of just times that they can, you know, sign up for. So
well, I will say I took my nieces to the Ghillie Pool the day after Memorial Day. Clean, plenty of chairs. The menu was fantastic. I got in and didn't feel like I had to take out a small loan to take the kids there. It is just an amazing facility.
it really is, you know, when we talk about it, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, but one of my guys, maintenance guys, was walking through the parking lot, and he said that he recognized close to 20 different counties represented in that back parking lot of folks just coming to the Ghillie Pool. So it's such a huge draw, and you know, we only have 10 weeks between when school ends and when school starts, and we pack everything in there. But there's just a lot going on over there. You know, we have our first home swim meet tomorrow night. Our McMinnville swim team swims tomorrow night. Our first home swim meet. We have pool parties on a regular on Friday nights and Sunday nights. We have large groups that come from, like I said, Cookeville Daycare and different places in Sparta and Smithville, and we get them from Sequatchie County, you know, over in Dunlap and places like that. So we have a lot of folks that come down here and have enjoyed it for years. So yeah, it's just really busy.
It is.
And the Park Theater's got next week. They have a musical theater workshop. It's for ages 2nd through 12th grade. Logan Taylor, who has helped a little bit with
Dream Reality Group.
He is helping put on this this experience. And so that's really cool. That's next week going on there at the Park Theater. So we've got things going on there. We've got all kinds of things going on at the parks, and then the Ghillie Pool, and then at the Milner. I think our only park right now that we don't have anything going on is Pistol Park, but we're going to do that in July. Is we're going to put on a soccer camp.
Yeah, I was going to say soccer will be, I guess spring soccer is wrapped up, but
Yep.
about ready to be fall before we turn around.
Yeah.
And I guess to find out everything, of course, you've got a website, then social media. All of this is on social media on the McMinnville Parks and Rec. Do you all have a page, or is
We
it
do.
the city page?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And of course, you've got great help at the front desk that answers the phone all the time and can answer any questions that you've got going. Well, I want to remind our audience again about this great open house on June 16th for everybody to come and give the feedback, because it's not too late.
It's not, and we want your input. We want you to be there. It's going to be held in our banquet hall, which is room 101, which is that new addition that we have added on to the front of the Milner Center. We got plenty of seating, but we would love to have you there. Love to get your input. Love to hear what you think about our existing and could be future facilities. Indoor pool always comes up.
I know. We'll never give up hope on that indoor pool.
That's right. That's right. So,
And as long as people keep voicing that want or that need, it's always a possibility, I guess. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Justin, for coming today and sharing all of this stuff with us. A lot to look forward to from the Parks and Rec Department in McMinnville.
it is. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I will say we hope you enjoyed your time with us and have learned more about the wonderful things going on at Parks and Rec in McMinnville. Have a safe, healthy, and happy week.